Squid Game's reality competition series green-lit by Netflix. So we have the real life Squid Games coming to Netflix.
Yeah, no, this is gonna be nuts, and one can only like speculate what this will be. So, since the phenomenon of Squid Games, it's Netflix's biggest, show vehicle thing that they put out. It has 111 million estimated viewers to the original thing. They've greenlit the season 2 of Squid Games. They got this new the challenge reality thing, where they're going to have 456 competitors all competing for the 4.56 million dollars in money. Obviously, they can't kill anybody, so I don't think that anybody is going to die. But you remember that show that we used to watch? What was it called? Like most extreme challenge, where they would run through these like obstacle courses and stuff, and they would get all beat.
Yeah,
And then,
producers are and studios are trying to push the envelope of what they can do. But let's talk about that for a second because guys, I have been retained to represent reality TV shows before. And so I have a little insider scoop of kind of how this works, right? So one of the things that's really important for a show like this is a liability waiver, right? So making sure that, there is notice given via the contract that says, "Hey participant, you're going to be engaging in extreme physical activity." We don't know the state of everyone's health when they go on shows like this that are intended to push you. I mean, goodness, X Factor, right? So I don't know who used to watch
right?
X Factor, Joe Rogan, but just the
Oh, you
extreme
mean
stress.
no? Was that what it's called? X Factor? Was that what it's called?
I think so. Am I saying it
Fear
wrong?
Factor. Fear
Oh,
Factor.
fear. Oh, did I say X
You're
Factor?
thinking
There was an
you're
X
thinking of the
Factor as
real
well.
the CU show.
Yeah, not X Factor. I'm sorry. The Joe Rogan show. But anyway, you're eating things and you're getting your heart rate and you're having to go through different challenges. And so, someone could die. And so you need to have a contract that says, "Hey, person, your, estate isn't going to sue us for
Right.
killing you by accident." So there's liability waivers, but then there's also things like first rights of refusal. Because
Right.
I bet you anything, we're going to have some stars are born moments from the show.
Well, no, and I mean it's just because there's Netflix has other kind of fun shows, right? So they have the what is it called, The Floor is Lava, which just released a new season, which I'm kind of excited about as well. Which like where you just can't, or The Floor is Lava, where it's like they're just kind of jumping all over everything, and they can fall in these like lava pits and stuff like that. Um, so I think that for to keep people's interest though, if they're going to see Squid Games, if people aren't getting either really hurt, I mean they can't kill them, but like okay, so for example, right? So when they would do red light, green light, right? So if they're doing red light, green light, and because they're going to want to see the classic games in this thing. So what happens if
Which
they
I'm curious
lose?
about. I mean, yeah, and they're reporting that we should see some of the classic games, but I'm kinda like, what's the fun in that? I
Yeah,
mean,
no, but I mean, no, but that's cool, right? So, but it's cool if they lose, and then what happens? They have to be punished. They're not going to get killed, but will they get like shot with like paintballs or something?
that's what I was thinking. I was like,
Like
they're gonna
that would be
shoot them
kind
with
of cool. Like,
paintballs.
yeah, no, I mean, if you're gonna do it, and it's not going to be like super watered down, then like I don't know. Otherwise, I think people are going to tune out if it's cheesy. Like they got to go
Right.
all the way as much as they can, or not. That's the whole intrigue about this show, is the fact that it was just pushing the envelope. It was so shocking. I think visually it's going to look great. I mean, the show had some of the best art direction I have seen. So I'm into it. I'm into it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So then the other thing that we see a lot in these contracts is that if we have these stars are born moments happening, the shows want to make sure that they have first rights of refusal, right? So that someone can't go and do another TV show for a certain period of time, right? Because someone else will see this person and be like, "Hey, come on our show." And so they'll say, "You're not allowed to be on other
Right.
reality TV shows for a while. We have the first right to book you again for, sequel, or number two in the series."
Hmm.
And so we see a lot of prohibition on other opportunities that the performers or what would you call it? Talent.
Yeah.
I'm having a brain
Well,
fog.
I mean, yeah. Well, I mean,
Participants.
participants, or in this case, possibly athletes. I mean,
That's a very good point, right? I mean, are we going to have a variety of types of people like we saw in the
mhm,
show? But things also, I've seen these shows require that any trademark that comes because someone is a certain number or they have a certain personality or character is that it's developed through the show. So therefore the show owns it. Right. So for example, if, we had Miss Krystle on a show and Miss Krystle became a thing, they might say, well, Miss Krystle, we're going to own your trademark. We're going to have the
Right.
sole authority of what we're going to do with that. So these contracts can be incredibly aggressive because these shows anticipate the success. They anticipate what's going to want to attach to it.
So, I mean, if people are interested in getting involved in this Squid Games challenge, though, you could head on over to squidgamecasting.com. You can see you got the little Netflix logo there. I mean, it's all over, so it's not just limited to America or whatever. It's worldwide casting, which would makes a lot of sense. But you got your links for UK casting, or US casting, UK casting, and global casting. With the largest cast in TV history, 456 real players will enter the game in pursuit of a life-changing cash prize of 4.5 million. Do you have what it takes to win Squid Games? For this round, the front man in search of English language speakers from any part of the world. The stakes are high, but in this game, the worst fate is going home empty-handed. Well, that's not as fun. The worst fate should be you don't get to leave. Something. There needs to be some kind of consequence.
Oh my goodness. No, I saw the comment, maybe there's going to be not just the paintballs, but bing bags. Now, I disagree with this one a little bit. In the current climate, you can just call the losers obscene names and they'll feel like they were killed or mutilated. I don't know about that. I think Netflix will get canceled if they allow any of that. But now let's talk about the prize. Guys, again, going back to this, $4.56 million is the prize. So going back to you're going to sell your soul when you sign this contract, I think for 4.56 million, people are going to happily do that. That's just me. Now, should I go on the show? I don't know if I need to clear this with you, but I don't know. I feel like this could be something fun.
No. No. I mean, just think about it. I mean, it definitely sounds fun. But even when we would watch that, what is it? The Most Extreme Challenge or Wipeout was like the American version, whatever that show was called that we were watching, where they would run the obstacle course. I was like, oh, that looks like fun. Like we should totally do that. And then I would just like, no, like I'm not doing that. That's ridiculous.
Well, guys, and as far as this show, I mean, you better believe that we're going to be watching it. We will probably be covering it well as each episode goes, because there's a lot of legal questions that come up.
I want to see the waivers,
and that you are specifically putting people in harm's way, and they're voluntarily putting themselves in harm's way. Now, there's obviously, maybe they're going to water this down. Maybe it's not going to be super extreme conditions. Maybe they're not going to get shot with paintballs and forced to do heavy cardio as they're, doing the tug of wars and this and that. I doubt it. I think this is going to be super extreme. And I think we're all going to be watching.
Yeah, no, and of course we're all going to be tuning in for Squid Game season 2. Anyway,
Yes.
The writer and director was all talking about just different plot lines and stuff that could happen, but nothing is set in stone. I think he said something like it took him, I don't even like 10 years or something like that to write this thing, and then or 17 years or whatever, and now he's got to come up with the next one, and there's going to be a lot of pressure. I think there's going to be a lot of pressure on this game, and I think there's going to be a lot of pressure on this season 2, because the bar has been set pretty high. I know that when it was over, I was kind of like feeling like hoping that maybe they wouldn't do a season 2, or that would just be it. Just let it live in itself and just be, the
because you're worried about
it
being
can only get
less than. Now look, this writer, whose story, by the way, was shunned and rejected, and he was, it's a beautiful story of just success, that it came around like this. But Netflix is not going to let this thing flop. They're going to have like 17 other writers who are assisting and making sure that this thing is amazing.
But that's also where you go wrong.
Frankly,
too many cooks in the kitchen.
My suggestion is that all you need to do is do the exact same thing again.
Right.
New players. Players.
Right.
That's the word I was looking for. New players, new games. That's it. And we will all watch.